Alright, what's going on, guys? T-Tor's back here in the video. Mr. Lewis.
What's up? I'm glad you got my name right this time.
Yeah. Alright, so today we're going to be installing the Fass 165. And then we have a bean sump. So we're going to go ahead and get right into unboxing this bad boy. Oh yeah. Alright, so right off the top, harness, all the bolts.
Energy shot.
I gave you, hey, look at that.
Don't pour that in your tank. That's not energy.
That's still for your body, that's funny. Alright, you got a sticker for my toolbox. Alright, box number 1 is done.
Oh, wait. You need to tell them this, dude.
What is it?
You need to read that because that's how they get you.
What is this? 30 days to register for your warranty. Okay.
So
if you want your warranty, make sure you got 30 days to register it. Dang, July 16th?
No.
Oh, that's manufacturer date.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, here you have it. Got new filters. A new filter, okay. Okay, pump itself. Just stick that to the side. Actual bracket pieces. Okay. Dang, can you get that? There we go. That should be the last of it. Alright, there you have it. There is the entire kit. Oh man, that thing's heavy. And then we also have the bean sump that we're going to be installing today also.
Alright, so the stuff that comes in the kit, you got your harness, fuel line. You'll be cutting this, so when you're cutting this, make sure you're measuring twice, cutting once. Energy shot, don't put that in your fuel tank, make sure you put that in your body. This is for your filler neck. You'll cut your filler neck, put this in between. This is where your return goes for your fuel. Upgraded filters, these are the new filters from Fass, water separator and regular fuel filter. You can see that these don't have the drain on the bottom of the fuel water separator. I guess the filters, it says it absorbs water and holds it. I run them on my truck and I have no issues, so I guess it's good. Here's your pump, the actual pump itself. Mounting brackets right here. Bar fittings for your fuel line. These are your return line and a main feed line. And then these are the fittings that go in your pump. Regular fittings. T-fuse fitting for your fuse box to your power pump. Mounting bracket bolts. Empty Ziploc bag. And then rubber grommets. These go in between your brackets here. It keeps it from vibrating as much. Trust me, it does work. Because my pump was loud and I couldn't figure out for the longest time why. It was because I thought I was going to be slick and not put both these in there. Well, that's what makes your pump loud. It vibrates your entire truck.
Yeah, we got it. What is this? Salt?
Beans Diesel Sump. This is a good one too. This is a nice one.
Is it?
Yeah, this has got the return and everything on it.
Is that not the same one you got?
I don't think so. This one looks bigger than mine. I mean, it may be. I don't know. It's been so long since I put mine on.
Alright, so the first thing we did was we went ahead and ran our wire. So as you can see, we have all the wires, the fuse, relay, all that stuff right here. And then down there in the body, as you can see right here, we went and ran all this wiring. We have it. Came out right there.
Alright, so on the single red wire that's coming off of your harness, you're going to have to tap that into hot ignition. That's going to be the 40. And 2010 GMC Sierra 2500, it's fuse 40. So once you get that in, you'll have to add 2 10-amp fuses, one up top, one on the bottom. That's to save your pump and the original fuse that was in there for the engine.
Alright, so the next thing that we did, you have 3 half-inch bolts, one here, and then there's one here at the top for the fuel heater. fuel cooler. And the next thing we gotta do is, you see where this, see that red line is? I'm gonna go ahead and remove that fuel line. All right, so after we remove the 2 lines from the actual fuel cooler itself, we use this 1/2-inch fuel fitting to remove the, what line was that?
Suction line?
The suction line from the actual fuel tank itself. And you know, once you take the lines off from the fuel cooler and that suction one for the actual tank itself, make sure you got a bucket in there because fuel definitely came out of those lines. All right, guys, so next thing we did was we took our supplied hose right here, and we put the fitting, as you can see, right there into that little that's the suction line for the factory fuel tank. And once you get it into that hole right there, you'll hear it click, and that's how you know it's good and seated in there.
All right, so we installed this line. We didn't cut it. We put the blue barb that comes in the kit, blue fuel barb. We put that in one end. That goes in your suction line. When you pull the hose off, you'll see that goes in there. And then the other end, it's a factory push lock that goes back on the other side of the fuel line. So right now, the way this is hooked up is just like a big line in between the original line. So what we're gonna do now is do the filler neck, we'll measure the pump, and then once we measure how far this line needs to go, then we'll cut it. So do not cut the line until you measure. Measure twice, cut once.
All right, so the next thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna have to cut your fuel line to your tank itself. And as you can see, we have the new part. What is that part called?
I guess you just call it like a filler neck adapter.
Filler neck adapter. And then of course we got both the clamps on and nice and tight.
All right, guys, so we put these fittings in. The straight one goes on this side. If you look at your pump, this is the way it sits. It goes right here. The 90 one's gonna go on the back. We haven't tightened either one of these down yet. If you're tightening them, it's gonna be different whichever pump you have on how tight these are. So we're just gonna get this one torqued down, just like hand tight, snug it up. What you don't want to do is, if you have a bench vise, make sure you use your bench vise. You put it in here. If you have soft teeth, it'll go right here. If not, just be really careful because you can crack this. What you don't want to do is lay it on the bench and then start tightening this down, and then this tube come up like this because you'll break that tube right off there. So after we got all the fittings and everything in, we went in and hooked it up. And just turn your key on to accessory mode. Hook this up into the harness. Don't mount or anything, just hook it up in the harness. WD-40, spray it in your water filter separator inlet right here. While the pump is running, turn the key on, just spray this in there. Doesn't matter how much you spray in there, just enough to where you'll hear it gurgling. Once it starts gurgling, that's pretty much enough.
That's to prime the pump?
And lubricate the gears before you put fluid in there. That's what that's for.
All right, the next piece of the puzzle is, Corey and I went ahead and started assembling the bracket for it. You got these spacers, and then you got three bolts that need to go in there. And you can see the holes that we used. We used this one, and this one, leaving these 2 out. What's the next part we're going to build?
I'll put this piece on. This rubber piece goes in between here like this.
Okay.
And then once we get this on, this piece will go here. This is actually what bolts up to top of your frame.
Okay, so that's part of the 17mm bolt that we just took out. So the bolt that he's talking about that I just took out is this bolt right here. Let me take you under the truck. Okay, there is a spot right there where my finger is pointed. There is that 17mm bolt that I took out. That's where your new system is going to be mounted to, right there. Okay, so on top of this filter came with the O-ring gasket.
It just pushes up on here.
As you can see, we've already put it up there, and that is going to be our fuel filter. That's our fuel filter. Okay.
Fuel filter goes on the
one that has the
tube
neck.
sides.
Yeah.
Tube side.
And then the other one's the water separator.
Water separator. Yep. We're just doing this so we can put it up under there and see how low Tyler wants it to sit, so we can adjust it, then tighten it down and put it in.
All right, guys. So the next thing that you want to do, as you can see, my system right here, I have this this connection made to the T part that goes to the blue part of the that's the filler hose.
Suction side. That's
the suction side of the actual fuel tank itself, and that goes. There's a T on this side, and then as you can see, we have it all mounted, and that's what it looks like so far. We got one more line and fitting to get done, and then we should be close to wrapping all this up. All right, guys. So I know there was a slight day and delay difference. So as you can see, here is the system as it's set up now. I have this ran like this for now because I haven't done the sump. I'm going to do that in another video. I had a couple minor setbacks. One of the things that happened to me was, let me get under here so you can see. If you see right there, that is your fuel cooler. When I was taking one of the lines off to put one of the lines on for the Fass, one of the neck on the feed line side of it had cracked and was causing fuel to you know, drip. So I had to get another one ordered. Luckily I found a brand new one, new in box, one on eBay. I'm not a big eBay person to buy stuff off, but yeah, got that back on there. The Fass is now working completely fine. I'm gonna turn the key on to accessory mode and let you guys hear what it sounds like. But yeah, it's relatively quiet. And one other thing is that I did get done that I'm gonna go over in another video, because this has bothered me on so many different occasions, is I got the dash fixed. Found a guy out of Mobile, Alabama, who diagnosed it. Oh, my camera fogged up, sorry. But yeah, he told me exactly what was wrong with it. Drove to his house. I was gone within 20 minutes. Dash has worked ever since. Disregard this right here. I'm not done running the sump, but I'm gonna let you guys hear what the new Fass 165 sounds like. It's not very loud at all. I have gotten into the habit of leaving the key on for, I don't know, 5 to 10 seconds, letting the pump do its thing, and yeah, let it get primed and stuff. So here we go. Here's like a little cold start. Alright guys, that is going to do it for today's video. I do want to give a big shout out. Thank you, Corey, so much for helping me install the lift pump. Couldn't have done it without you. Definitely, like I said, not very knowledgeable on these diesels, so I love having you around helping me work on this thing. So you're going to get at least like 2 more truck videos, and then I'm going to start doing the EGR delete. One of them, I'm going to explain to you all how I got the dash fixed, because I looked on forums and forums and forums, checked this fuse, checked that fuse, and pulled the dash, and fixed a few things on there. Like I said, I'm gonna go over that in the next video. And then we also have, I need to get my tip installed. So I just been lazy. I'm tired of looking at that nasty looking pipe right there, boy. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
Back to my pulse flat, we keep it real, no false rap. I got 4 cars and they all black, got 4 bras and they all that. We call that ballin', doing this is my calling. Flow is so